Hey everyone, welcome again to another live episode of Legal Shit. This is one of our nighttime.
Yes, our nighttime episode.
Our first nighttime episode. Usually we're here.
Second.
Did we do another one?
Yes, with the
Who do we do it with?
the entertainers.
Oh yeah. But most of the time we've been here on Saturday mornings and the green market's going and the sun's out. But now we're seeing a setting sun and it's going to be in the evening here shortly. And so I'm Tim Schulz. I'm here. I'm your host for Legal Shit. I'm here with my lovely wife.
Hi, guys.
This is Antoinette. And we have a special guest, Josh. Say hi.
Hey, how you doing today?
Excellent. How about yourself?
I am great.
Josh has graced us with his presence, and we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff with Josh.
Meaning navigating. He's going to be talking about navigating divorce, surviving the violence, and self-snitching in your music. So
Josh, why don't you just?
I'm Josh, or is that Josh over there?
Josh.
I'm just trying to figure out which one. You know, you're getting us all mixed up already. The color, I don't know.
I know. You all look
We
alike.
all look alike. Wow.
Agreed.
Oh man.
Right.
You could be my brother though.
Yeah.
If you know what my brother looks like, you could be him.
You know, beauty runs in the family.
Thank you.
Well, I honestly thought when I saw you walk in, I'm like,
You thought it was my brother.
That looks like her brother.
If you see my brother, you do.
You
About
look
the
very
same
much,
height,
very
too, the
much
same beard, everything.
everything. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Handsome guy,
And
handsome guy.
not all look alike. So anyway, let's strike that comment. So Josh, why don't you introduce yourself and tell our listeners, what do you do and a little bit about yourself?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Josh the Barber by day, Fooly 23 by night, or 23 Fooly, whatever you want to call me. I am a rapper, singer, songwriter, and artist. It's very nice to meet everybody, and I'm happy to be here on Legal Shit.
Well, thank you.
Love the voice.
He sounds like he's got a radio voice.
Yes.
Excellent. Love it. All right. So what do you do, Josh? You're tell us a little bit your barbering. What do you do? That's in the daytime, I guess.
So I started barbering when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
I chose to be have a dynamic personality and crack jokes on a lot of my friends. You know what I mean? So they, obviously they call my bluff and they challenged me to, practice what I do now.
Gotcha.
So it all started with my friend. His name's Dante. I'm not going to say his last name. However, it started as a little quarrel on the bus. He ended up coming to my house, meeting my mom, and becoming a long-term family friend. We're still friends to this day. I'm 27 now, so it's been about 12 years.
Wow.
And he's the reason I cut hair to this day. It's my passion. It's something that I genuinely not only love, but I live every day.
Gotcha.
You want
to give yourself a plug as to where you do your barbering? And
I work at Ascend the Trend Barbershop, 424 Clematis Street. Please pull up. We have the absolute best, most luxurious, whatever you can use to describe the best on Clematis Street and in West Palm Beach. You can find me wherever you want to find me. I work every day except Wednesday, 8 to 8. Please tap in, check in, and get your haircut.
There you go.
And usually when I'm passing Ascend the Trend, there's a line. So please make your appointment with Josh, okay?
Absolutely.
There is a line. You don't want to just show up and be like, waiting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So make your appointment.
So that's your daytime gig.
Yes, sir.
What's your nighttime gig, you say?
And they're not young.
Absolutely.
And they're all skinny. I'm like,
they're usually on a multitude of drugs.
They are skinny.
to be fair. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And they all look alike in that skinny form.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Where was this? Like up
out on the outskirt of this
Gotcha.
300 what is it? The downtown Clematis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time we were at a wedding several years ago?
Right.
And Antoinette left her cell phone at the wedding.
Oh man.
And we couldn't find it. We were at the pavilion down here.
Oh yes.
So we got on, Find My,
and
it was coming back. It was coming back to an address off of Tamarind Avenue here in West Palm Beach.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So Antoinette's like, I'm going to go get my phone. And I'm like,
I don't care. And Tim's all scared. I'm getting my phone. I don't care.
You're getting another one.
No, I'm not. I'm getting that phone.
So Tim.
It's an open phone. They could have.
Yeah. Tim went along.
I'm tired of losing my phone.
We jumped in our truck and Tim went along. We went up Tamarind.
Yeah.
And we literally walked on the street and then.
Until the phone was like, you're right here.
There.
Yeah. And I'm knocking on the door and they were surprised. I don't think they knew to turn the phone. Yeah, leave the phone on.
No, they left it on, but it was in their car.
Leave the phone on.
Leave the phone. Always leave the phone on. If you ever find a phone, leave it
Just
on.
leave it on.
Absolutely.
And so we knocked
it
on
was
the door.
In their
and,
car.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we were looking for it."
Yeah, we were going to return it. No, they took it home. Everything.
Yep.
They were leaving that day.
They were leaving that day. Yeah.
So it was a Spanish family. It was the entire family there.
We got our phone back, but anyway, I was a little nervous.
Did not play with me.
I would have been.
He's always nervous. I'm showing up.
Well, I did bring a little something with me because I'm a retired police officer.
You got to stay safe.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Go tell us a little bit more about your songwriting and singing.
No. I have 20 questions. I have your questions ready.
Oh, okay.
So, Josh, so how was it growing up here in West Palm Beach? How has it shaped you and your views of success and survival?
Okay, so I would say growing up all over West Palm Beach, it definitely breeds the determination, and a work ethic like no other. It makes you want to do things and ascend things that a lot of people choose not to do. I was one of the first people in my family to graduate college.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
I was one of the first people to, actually pursue a career and pursue a normal life, where I was active in everything that I did and the people that I involved myself with. I always showed an unconditional love and always exhibited altruism, which is like just unrelenting selflessness, because I saw it amongst the people that I grew up from. I learned to take everything they did that wasn't bad and I took those characteristics and made them a part of myself, and everything they did out of necessity, I understood that it was because of necessity and not because they wanted to do it. Real gangsters don't want to be gangsters.
Right.
Real drug dealers don't want to be drug dealers. They're doing it because this is the best of the cards that they're dealt in life. And I've learned those things and learned from those mistakes. And it not only made me grow, but made me mature at a rate that some would consider a little faster than people of my age.
But some people see it and they like it. You were one that be like, this makes sense.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's parts that you like, right?
Yeah.
You like the money. You like the cars. You like the clothes. You like
parties.
You like being wanted and desired and partying and having fun. However, you don't like the repercussion, because then you're going to have to call Timothy to try to get up out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always tried to find a hustle in a way that I can provide for myself. And eventually when I had a family, for my family, without necessarily having to deal with the police.
Yep.
And that's what led me to barbering as well.
Oh, it's fabulous.
So you were that aware at 15?
I actually was that aware at 12. So when I was 12, my cousin, who will go unnamed, decided to have an intimate interaction with a woman down the street.
Oh goodness, not at the corner house, right?
So at her house, which was up the street, which was another corner house.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, the father of her child decided to come in to our house with all of my cousins, mom and family outside, and he asked for, fade, as they would say. He wanted to fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought he needed a haircut at 12.
So he proceeded. He was a pretty big dude, probably like 6'8", 300 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And my cousin is probably like 5'11", 180 pounds. And he proceeded to, engage in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It did not go well for him because there was 12 of us and one of him.
Yeah, that's
why it's good to have more than one kids or more than two. If you have a village, you go to war, you have someone follow. They have your back.
Absolutely.
When you have one or two, you can't depend on one or two. You got to have 3 or 4, not even 3, 4 to 5, because you can't just go to war with two kids. What are they going to do?
Absolutely.
Shoot. So have your kids, people.
So he proceeded to leave. He went to the hospital for about 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And then he came back. He rode by the house in it was almost like a cream colored Impala with all blacked out tents and like worn out tires. So he rode by the first time to see if people were home, and then when he came back the second time, they shot up the house. I had just come home from practice. I'm walking in the house. As soon as I close the door behind me, I hear gunshots.
Wow.
He's so weak.
Oh, I got beat up. I'm gonna shoot you.
I can't. How can you even walk the streets knowing that because someone whooped your ass, you're gonna go and pull a gun? You still didn't win. The gun won. You didn't win. What kind of pride and what kind of I won because I shot you? No.
Yeah. Well,
put some fist to it. No.
You get to write that on your prison wall. I won because I shot that guy.
That's if he got caught.
For the next 30 years or more.
That's if he got caught. Did he get caught?
So he never got caught.
Yeah, there you go.
He actually got caught by the streets, which is a little bit worse in my opinion. Because he's no longer with us.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
because he was a punk. I mean, come on. You're gonna get in a fist fight, and now that you lost the fight, and so you go strengthen yourself and go to the gym and train a little bit. Now you come fight fair. You're gonna bring a gun? That's just weak. I'm sorry.
So they did that.
That's not a man.
My mother was in the house, my aunt was in the house, and I was in the house. I was 12, and all of us were just chilling. My cousin wasn't even there, and he shot up the house regardless.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my other cousin happened to be pulling up around that time because the corner house is a hub. You know what I mean? It's where you do what you're supposed to do in order to make your money, your revenue, in order to, keep living that lifestyle that you're living. He happened to see what was going on. My cousin and my uncle decided to come around the same time, which was God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously they had what they needed and they did what was necessary to protect our lives.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here to talk to y'all today.
Excellent.
Wow.
You have another question?
Yeah.
I bet you got lots of them. You're always full of questions over there.
A lot of info. What's the biggest what's the biggest legal challenge you have ever faced personally?
So I was married to this girl.
Ooh.
And she was drop dead gorgeous. She was everything you could possibly want in a woman.
She's still drop dead gorgeous.
She's incredible. She looks even better now, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was with her.
Tastes like wine.
Black don't. I was with her. I met her when I was 17, turning 18. She was 16, turning 17. And I told her, if we are together for a year or more, we're getting married. We were together for 2. So I proposed to her in front of her mother's house, and I gave her every valuable possession that I owned, which was nothing at the time because I was a teenager.
No, it's something. It's
you know
something.
What I mean? And
because she had nothing too. It's the same balance.
Absolutely.
So it's something.
So I proposed to her. We lived together. Eventually, her mom kicked her out, and she ended up living with me, which was not approved by my mother or grandmother at the time. Mm-hmm. So we was kind of just sneaking her in and out until we were able to get our own spot. Yeah. We ended up moving to Tallahassee for a year, and then we moved to Springfield, Missouri for 2 years.
At what age is this? You guys are grown, man.
When we moved to Tallahassee, I was 19.
At that age, I'm still scary.
Yeah, we got officially married on paper. I was probably like 21. We came down here to get married, but we were living in Missouri.
Yeah.
And then we went back to Missouri, and she got friends. She was a very reclusive, bookworm, super intelligent, super selfless, loving woman. I still, got a lot of love for her to this day, and the thing I would say about her was, I think that the influence of people, misery loves company. Mm-hmm. And when you make friends with people who are not of the same status as you or aren't trying to live the same life or achieve the same goals as you, that's when they start to try to tear things apart. They'll try to, mold it to how they would want it. You know what I mean? So she ended up going from a wife to just another girl, and I don't mean that as like she's just not extraordinary. She's extraordinary as a person individually, but she had things that people couldn't even fathom why she had it because they felt like she was lesser than them. Yeah. So she started to sabotage and tear apart this love that we had cultivated and built that was so pure and raw because of how young we were and how we built it. It was a bond over time, So when those people came in and, money problems happened and we got into a little altercation, which, usually people can work through these things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We weren't able to do that because people were kind of like, badgering her about it. So I feel like going to court, being accused of being out of character and doing things that I'm just not with that. No disrespect to Chris Brown. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? But I'm just not in that I'm not of that same ilk of people, especially after seeing things like that in my life. So to be accused of those things, knowing that you still love someone, that battle, that internal battle, because you know that you still want to be with them and you want to court them and you want to, pursue a life with them. And they're just kind of shooting you down because of the people around them. Right. That was my most difficult legal battle.
Wow. There you go.
Did she take anything? Half of anything? Because did you,
she cited that I was the love of her life and she wouldn't change anything and she didn't want anything. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good. I think that's a good idea. Just in case, things never.
I don't get what are you trying to say? I don't get it.
Oh, nothing. I was just.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing, babe. Love you.
Anyways, moving on. Do you think prosecutors should be allowed to use rap lyrics in court? Wait.
Rap lyrics in court. Where did that come from?
Hold on, rewind. Let's go back to 4. Why do you think so many artists end up confessing to crimes in their music?
Because that's the only way that you command respect. That's the only way. Because a lot of people who you're rapping to and the audience that you're trying to be embraced by are the people that are doing the things that you were able and fortunate enough to kind of find a way out. But in order to still be around those people, hang around those people, and they respect you, they understand you, and they look up to you or admire you, you have to tell them that you were there once and you were them and you are them. You know, if I see myself in you and your music is more relatable, I'm more likely to want to listen to you, which, you know, streams equal revenue.
Yeah. And all those rappers, all the famous rappers, they were really not gangsters.
Not at all.
No.
Not
like
at all.
Dave Chappelle was he's a comedian, but he was talking about how everyone thought he came from the hood and he did not.
Absolutely.
But he knew how to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So all the big famous ones did not come from the hood.
For sure. And I think that balance is important. You know, just understanding that, you know, doing as they say and not as they do is like the difference between life and death, and the difference between spending your life behind bars and in prison, which is absolutely horrible, you know, or just being free and pursuing a dream and, you know, getting those things that you see that they glorify all the time, you know?
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
You remember when you met, what's his name? The short guy. He's an actor, comedian.
The short guy.
Cat Williams?
No, older one.
Older short guy.
The one you, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, well,
and he was acting like he was bad, but he did not come from the hood either.
No, he was acting like, I was a police officer in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and he was acting up one night in a club. Wow. I guess he was performing in one of the casinos, and we got a call that we have a problem in our club, and so we go down. I forget what street it was on, but anyway, it was right next to the boardwalk. And we go up to the manager and the door people, and they said, "There's Eddie Murphy's in here, and he's really acting like an ass."
I mean, he did play Donkey in Shrek.
It's weird how his movies just went from.
Yeah,
I like them. I like all of his movies, but still.
Yeah, I love Life. Life is cool.
Yeah,
Life was good.
Yeah,
but you know, so we had to kind of go in and tell him to quiet down and be quiet, be a good boy. Or else we're gonna kick his ass and drag him out of there in handcuffs.
At the same time, I'm thinking Edddy Murphy is tall.
No, he was like 5. I want to say 5'6" or something. 5'5".
And you're 5'8".
Yeah, I stood over him, and my partner was 6 foot or 6'1". So
famous people are usually like short.
Surprisingly short.
Surprisingly.
You know,
short.
when you see them in real life, it's surprising how many you think from TV and the movies they're really tall, and then you see them and they're like,
what the midgets?
Oh, they're like a little person.
Absolutely.
Not that I'm a big guy, but some of them are smaller than I am. So
no, babe, you always say 5'8" was the ideal
5'8"
height.
was a good height back in 19. I was born in 58. That was a good height. Well, I wasn't 5'8" in 58, but anyway.
58. Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm old.
1958.
Yep.
98.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay, so do you think prosecutors should be allowed to use rap lyrics in court? What do you think first, Tim? What do you think?
Maybe in closing? In closing arguments, maybe? But I wouldn't question people. You mean question people about rap songs? Or?
No, put them in jail for what they rap about.
As evidence against them?
Yes.
No, and not unless the rap song, I think, basically admits to committing a crime. I guess then they can use it.
But how do you know if they're really admitted to committing?
I don't know
that crime.
I don't know.
They could be admitted to someone else's crime.
Well, that's why you want to corroborate it. You know, why you want to be able to have something else to prove what they say is actually what they're saying about. But yeah, it's it's not hearsay. It's you made the statement, so.
But it's just a song.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I should.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
What do you mean? I don't know. I don't think.
I guess it depends on the context of what they said, and you know. I mean, just because it's in a song doesn't mean they did something. But if they are admitting to something, and that can be shown by other additional evidence as well, then that's kind of an admission. Okay, so you can prove
that they admit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I can say I'm the president of the United States. It doesn't mean I'm the president of the United States. But if there was some other document showing that I was the president, not that I'd want to be the president.
President Schulz.
Not that I'd want to be president.
Yeah, not at all.
Not even vice president.
No, thanks.
That sounds like a headache.
That sounds like a real effing headache.
I would say this, right? I think that music is, in terms, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a way to garner revenue. You know what I mean? And I think that as long as it's not like completely outrageous, I think that it should not be used in order to prosecute a person, because a lot of times your hip hop self is an alter ego.
Right.
Oh,
A lot of times it's just a fable, a fairy tale.
Right.
It's just make believe. And I think that you should not be able to use make believe in order to try to, completely alter someone's life for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And even, okay, Young Thug, for example, we'll say Young Thug and then we'll say Lil Boosie or Boosie Bad or whatever you want to call him, right? So I met Boosie, actually. I was 21. I drove 10 hours to Louisiana to be a vendor at a party he had for his daughter.
What kind of vendor?
Just a barber.
Okay.
Oh,
So
cool.
I pretty much cut the whole neighborhood in Baton Rouge, met his mom.
Oh,
She was super
wow.
sweet, super loving. It was incredible. I was trying to get him to listen to my music. That's why I went up there. He didn't. But anyways, he beat a multitude of murder charges. You want to know why? Nobody said anything. And they tried their darndest to use his lyrics. And it held no weight, you know?
Yeah.
Then there's a difference because you got, Young Thug, where he's on probation for like 15, almost 19 years. And they're using his lyrics to try to do the same thing. And I just don't think that it makes quite enough sense to me. You know what I mean? Just considering. And also, I also think that your contributions to society should also be weighed in, because he's given over $1 million to a charity. He's done so much for his community.
Yeah.
I just don't really see why you would want to try to take someone like that and make them intentionally try to make them more miserable and make it more difficult for them to make money to continue to rehabilitate and stimulate the community and the economy. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Don't let me get on that topic about putting back in. I want to get myself. Do they really want you to succeed?
Probably not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, they're putting him in jail.
Yeah, if you're brown, it ain't going down.
No.
Do we really want people to be reading and writing and getting more education?
Yeah, boy.
No,
Probably not.
probably not.
Everybody can't be a boss. For sure.
Okay, so another question. How do you balance expression in your music without incriminating yourself? You don't do anything. Just say you don't do anything. You're a good boy.
I was
You're a
gonna
good
say,
boy.
I don't do crime. I'm at work all day, every day. 2, I just tell my story. You know what I mean? And a lot of times my story is from watching other people, seeing what other people did and learning from their mistakes. I seen my friend, for example, he got shot in the head at Bad Cop.
Ugh.
He was one of my best and one of my closest friends. And he got into an altercation because they tried to steal his dirt bike. And then they ended up just his friend or whatever was there. Their friend was there. He jumped out and shot him in the head. You know what I mean? I'm learning from that because he was younger than me. He was like a little brother to me. I understand you can't be in the streets. You can't be flaunting the things that you work so hard to get, because a lot of times you're going to be in a compromising position. And if you're not ready to die behind your own position or whatever you work for, then you shouldn't be flaunting it in front of people who have less than you, but I'm not saying that it's his fault by any means, but I'm just saying it's a dangerous and dirty world that we live in. So it's okay to be cautious. That doesn't make you a coward. That doesn't make you scary. It just makes you smart. You know what I mean?
It makes you move out the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I live in gated communities and high rises downtown West Palm Beach.
Without a doubt.
Sorry.
It's kind of pricey here, though. Well, yeah.
Okay, so number 6. How do you balance? Okay, what are some of the things you've seen in the barbershop that made you think this could end badly?
Okay, sounds pretty awesome. Pretty awesome question. So the first thing,
the barbershop is full of men.
Yes.
So, it's always these egos. It's this, it's that.
Absolutely. I seen one barber who will go unnamed who was absolutely filthy. One of the things that you can lose your license for, if you guys didn't know, barbers can lose their license. You can also actually be sued legally if you commit harm or you spread a disease to a client.
Right.
He did both in the same day.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So a lot of people think that dandruff is this flaky, dry substance, but it actually has a smell and it's actually spreadable. You know what I mean? And he was spreading it to every client he had.
Wasn't cleaning his clippers and stuff.
And he never cleaned his clippers. He used the same razor on every client possible.
That's blood.
And he would also scratch his testicles and then put his hands in your mouth.
That's some legal
face,
shit.
and nose. You know what I mean?
You sure he wasn't Diddy?
Oh my goodness. He did it.
He probably was.
Man.
So that was pretty bad. We had a guy who used to do fentanyl outside of our barbershop when I was working on Village and Palm Beach Lakes. He walks in the shop one day and he's like, "Hey, can I use your shears?" And I'm like, Hell no, you can't use my These are shears. These are
Thank you. If I drop my shears, I'm like,
absolutely. If you guys don't know, if y'all don't know, talking to the viewer here, right?
Yeah.
Shears are not scissors. You can slide it across your hand. It will cut your whole hand open.
Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore, you can't just go handing them out to people, because if a person doesn't know better and they're just trying to cut up a blunt or something like that and they cut their finger, they're not going to have a finger anymore.
Gotcha.
So he got upset. He walked outside, and then I decided to give him some Popeyes. When I walked outside with him, a 3-piece and a combo with something to drink.
Dang, I'm hungry right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Popeyes. Oh,
I love Popeyes.
I thought that was a nickname for some sort of a drug or something.
Yeah, I love Popeyes.
See what happens when you're an old white guy? You don't know all the terminology.
I would just say, like, as the kids say,
I've given you Popeyes before. Be quiet.
he got these hands. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He was calling names, and I knew it wasn't going to end well, but I had to get him out of business because we
Yeah.
weren't going to make money if he just was hovering around calling
Yeah.
people names. So, yeah,
I have a question for Josh.
absolutely.
Since he's right on Clematis, and so am I. Basically, you're right on Clematis. I'm just off Clematis.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about the homeless situation on Clematis?
I think, and I'm glad you asked me this.
Mm.
I believe homelessness is a choice for most of them. You know, just because I've personally had conversations and I've conversed with these
I've
people.
said that before
You
too.
know, a lot of them want to do drugs, have sex in alleys, corners, and dumpsters.
So dirty.
And not to them. They enjoy it. They enjoy it.
Right.
And a lot of them
insides feel like it's gonna fall out.
I mean, let's look at it from their perspective, right? You get free food, you don't have no rent, you have no actual fiscal responsibility whatsoever. You get to chill, you get to see all types of people all day. You can look at them however you want and,
Right.
and do whatever you literally damn near do whatever you want. The police won't do anything because there's such a problem. I do think instead of just trying to give them whatever they need, I think that we should probably move them. You know what I mean?
They
Yeah.
move back.
And I think that's the best thing for them is to move. No, you got to move them like Everglades. You got to move them far.
But they get bus passes, right?
Yeah, but you also should should also
but
try to
sometimes
find
people move them to our state. That's what happens.
That's
That's
messed up.
That's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
We should also find the drug dealer too, because like they talk about it. They walk around, they're like, "Hey, I got this, and this is making them go crazy." And I'm like, "Well, the police just walked by. Like, he ain't just hear you say that." You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do
Gotta
think
prove
that they probably either need to get picked up or they need to leave too, because it's driving business down, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, so
Because they sit. Go ahead.
I when I walk along Clematis in the morning, I'm talking like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
From the 600 to the 300 to the 100 block.
Mhm.
It's kind of really depressing. I mean, there are a number of homeless people just hanging around with their bags, and half of them are sleeping, and then the other ones are asking me for money or asking me for food. And it's every morning, it's every day, it's every afternoon. And after a while, I'm like, I get tired of it.
One time I made a mistake. So the guy went in. I had put a plate. I was at O'Shea's, and I put a plate that I finished on a separate table because I was trying to clean up.
Oh yeah.
And then I had my leftovers in a container, and the guy started going through my plate. And I'm like, oh man, let me just give him this leftovers. When I said he would not stop leaving me alone, then he tried to play with Mimi. Then he tried to give Mimi some. Then he started eating off the ground. It's like he was doing a whole reenactment of I'm crazy. And I'm like, I know you're not crazy. Just leave me alone. Just take this food and go. But he was just so extra. I'm like, you'll never get anything else from me. I'm sorry. I can't.
I've heard like a multitude of solutions for homeless people. You know, I don't agree with a lot of them because a lot of them are very extreme.
Yeah.
You know, so I just think, just, hey, free food, free money. Come on. Pick them all up in a van and drop them off somewhere. And
they come back. They try to take them to Wellington, I think, before. They try to take them places. They come back. Yeah, the bus passes. I thought their phones were, but their phones can't get them on YouTube and stuff, I don't think.
In reality, I wanted to say this too. I'm sorry to interrupt you, by the way. I think that like the surplus of money is so insane nowadays that like I'm sure you can buy like a couple sheds somewhere and have them have
whose
somewhere.
Property?
But that's what I'm saying, on city property, because they're the ones condoning it and allowing it to happen. And it's causing business owners and local entrepreneurs to take a hit because people are scared to walk into your business if someone is bug-eyed, staring at you, red-eyed, looking crazy, like they're about to bite you.
Well, that's where I was going with my question, because I know a lot of the business owners, the eyeglass place over here, and yourself have commented, and others have commented that it's driving business away. People don't want to come down to Clematis. We were just talking about it today. I had a mediation today, and we were talking about it, that over the last several years, they've built so many different or new apartment complexes around here. Hundreds and hundreds of people should be moving downtown. but you don't see them walking out. But you go down to City Place and the place is packed.
Because it's private.
Because it's, private and they don't allow it. But they're all here on Clematis, and a lot of people are like,
Do you guys know there's a phone number to call to get them to move?
Yeah. My friend works for them.
But what I don't understand is that they always sit right there.
They sit in front of the barbershop too.
Oh, they do.
I know they always. Yeah.
Big Red sits right in front of your barbershop and stares in all day long.
I'll be honest.
Is it TV?
I'll be honest.
It's a movie?
Red is probably.
He is 22
he's
or
probably
23.
he's probably the only one I approve of though.
Yeah.
He's quiet. He doesn't bother anyone.
Yeah, people love Red. People do. They love Red.
One time I saw Red getting out of a car and this girl was trying to talk to him, but he
ignored her.
No, he was hanging out at one point. I did not know he was homeless.
Do you guys do his haircut?
No.
Okay. Every so often he has a haircut. His beard goes up, he shaves the beard and he has a haircut. I'm like, oh.
Where he's going to sit, babe?
I don't know.
Josh, do you do Big Red's haircut with your shears?
Absolutely not.
With your babies?
Yeah. No way, Jose. Oh, man. But he's cool, though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's been around. I did not know he was, before he was 20 or whatever, he used to look regular, regular clothes, had shoes, hanging out. Like, I just thought he was just a regular person walking down the street like me.
He's a kid. He's a kid, too. Like,
he's 22, 23.
But they should try to get him, like, rehabilitation has got to be a thing that's like super serious for people that are that
normal.
young.
I don't know what happened.
He's on Flocka now.
Oh, so like that's what happened.
85% of the homeless people are on either Flocka, Molly, both, meth, H, which is street for heroin. And they do a multitude of drugs all in one day. Then they vape and they smoke blunts all day.
He was so normal. Handsome guy, too.
Yeah.
Wore shoes, regular clothes, regular haircut. Then one day we just saw him walking like this.
And a lot of times it seems sad, but people haven't given up. No, they don't give up. They just choose a specific life path.
It's easier.
It's super easy. You get free food and free money and you sleep wherever you want. You get butt naked in the middle of the road if you want to. Nobody says anything to you.
We had someone several months ago who decided to get naked and bathe in our fountain out here. So we had to call the police.
That actually happened a multitude of times. That's pretty interesting.
Okay, so what lesson have you learned seeing music? Okay. Did you want to talk about something else? Because you asked about the homeless part.
No, I was just interested that whether or not they've affected the barbershop, because I know I see them sitting outside the barbershop all the time.
Yeah, they have. They run people off a lot.
Yeah. I sometimes don't want to walk past them because I know they're just going to bug me for food or for money, and I just sometimes cross the street.
Asking me. I don't even answer.
Yeah, I hate to just ignore them. Some of them are. Some guy asked me the other day.
If it's not a kid or a old person, I like old people.
I got you. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Or a child. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, I wake up at 8. I wake up at 7:30. Right, get to work at 8 o'clock. I work until 8 o'clock in the evening. And when I leave, I'm not gonna just start handing out money after working all day, being on my feet all day, knees hurting, lower back hurt. No. I'm not giving you nothing. You know? And that's not to be disrespectful. It's not to be rude. And I'm probably gonna ignore you. It's not to be rude. But I went and got this. If you don't go and get it, then I don't know what to tell you.
I had a guy not too long ago just ask me, the price went up. He went, normally they ask for some change, then maybe it's $1. He asked me for $5 the other day.
Wow.
And then another guy just the other day said, hey, if you're not doing anything, we should grab a bite to eat.
Wow.
We should grab a bite. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go down to Rocco's and have some lunch.
There's a nice looking black girl that's down here. She got mad because she asked for $5 and I didn't have $5. And for some reason,
the one that got a little heavy.
Yeah. And for some reason, I'm like, let me give her something because I was at Katrina's boutique.
That's wrong.
And then she walked in to buy. She walked in to buy something.
Where?
And I'm like, at Katrina's. And she buys stuff. She buys bracelets and stuff at Katrina's at the boutique.
Okay.
And she walked in to buy something. So I was like, oh man, now I'm talking to this girl.
Yeah.
So
they don't let her in Starbucks anymore.
So she sees me walking by CVS and she decides to ask me for $5. I looked in my pocket. I had a couple of 20s. I had all that, but I only had like three ones. So I'm like, oh, this is all I have, 3 ones. She gave me the nastiest attitude.
She stopped me one day. She's like, hey, can you help me buy something out of CVS? I can't go in there. I'm not allowed to go in there. I said, why?
They won't let her in there.
She's like, they won't let me in there. I said, what'd you do? She said, I did nothing wrong. They just don't want to let me in there. I said, okay, what do you want? She says, I just want some press-on nails. That's it. I'm like, well, listen.
Yeah, she's girly. She gets her stuff.
I've been at work all day. I'm broke. She's like, you're at work all day, every day, and you're broke. And walks away. I'm like, it's not like I'm asking you for money.
You can't get a girl her nails done? Oh, come on. You can't get her nails
get the girl
done?
some press-ons.
She's also a saleswoman.
She's
by the
good.
way. You know what she sells, right?
Oh, Lord.
I got you. I got you. Couch eye.
Wink, wink.
Why?
Yeah.
I would never think that she did that.
She's gross. I'd never buy that. Yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Nah.
But yeah, I know they don't let her in Starbucks anymore. So she's asked me a few times, can you get me something in Starbucks? I said, baby, I'm going to work. Yeah, I got to go.
You call her baby?
I just said, baby, I got to go to work.
You call her baby?
Oh, a couple times, yeah.
Why are you calling her baby?
I don't know. Just, you know what I mean, baby. I got to go.
And at that moment, he knew. He messed up.
She probably thinks I'm in love with her now or something. I don't know. Now she ignores me because I
think everyone is in love with her.
Yeah.
She is pretty. She's a pretty girl.
You're
she was
very
clean.
nice. You're very nice.
No, she was cleaned up. Come on. She's not an ugly girl.
You're very nice.
No.
Oh,
she gained a little weight, though. She was thin.
Yeah, she was thin, and then she gained a lot of weight.
Hippopotamus.
Man.
Okay, number 8. Have you ever had to cut someone's hair who you knew was in the streets and doing illegal things?
Absolutely. I've cut everybody.
Were you scared?
Not at all.
You've cut the worst of their hairs.
I mean, were you like this? With the razor?
So look. So there's
all my life I had to fight.
That's how a lot of them be looking before I get done. So there's a lot of common misconceptions, right? For example, there's duality in crime, right? Mm-hmm. Murderers often have families. Mm-hmm. Robbers often have families. A lot of these people help, raise me. They came together and put things together and rewarded me when I did well, whether it be in school, football, or whatever I tried to do, and whatever goal I tried to accomplish, as long as it was the right thing, they would push me to do those things. So a lot of those people who did horrible things, by the scope of anybody else, a lot of times those people have duality. They're not just deranged, crazy psychos. A lot of times they're great, family loving people.
They're
they just do it. They just do what they need to do. Yeah, they just do what they need to do. You know. So I've had people that have done a lot of. One of my best friends, who will go unnamed, is not. He used to be for hire for. It's named after a movie. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Gotcha.
But he used to do that a lot, and he was my best friend in the whole wide world. We literally loved each other like brothers. Went everywhere together. Studio sessions, parties, strip clubs, whatever we did it together.
Yeah.
And even to this day, now he's a family man. Of course, he changed his life and stuff. But
good.
You can see how people are they do things out of necessity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have a conscience. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had people like that in my chair. Always gave them a great cut. Always had a great experience with them.
Better give them a great cut.
Yeah, actually, if you know what's good for you. So yeah, it was always respect, Yeah, so that was cool.
Okay. What lessons have you learned from seeing your musical peers go to jail?
Stop self-snitching. That's the main thing.
Explain what self-snitching means.
I'll give you an example, right? So,
okay.
Well, self-snitching. Let me give you my definition, Fooly 23's definition, right? Fooly 23's definition of self-snitching is releasing an incriminating statement that can be used as a confession or as any type of evidence in any way, shape, form, or type, or size, or realm in order to prosecute or convict you to the furthest degree and in order to max you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put you behind bars, to put it shortly, right? So, for example, Young Thug was in trouble. He had a court case where he was like, I shoot at your mommy, I shoot at your kid. The next day I pop at his head, I pop at her head. He's talking about YFN Lucci and how the mother of his child got shot. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it could be reversed or whatever. But I'm pretty sure I'm right? So when you say things like that, right, that's self-snitching. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of instances where people talk about the things that they've done and admit to the crimes that they've committed in order to try to garner street cred or respect or adoration from people who are your peers. But in reality, life is going to go on whether you're there or not, because they don't give a rat's hat about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's the main thing. Just don't tell on yourself. Tell your story, but just be honest. Be straightforward, but like most lawyers will tell you, shut the F up. That's it.
Mr. Schulz, has there ever been a situation where you had to tell someone to shut the fuck up?
Yes, I've told a number of people, shut the fuck up.
Everyone thinks I don't curse, but I do curse sometimes.
When the police knock at your door, don't say anything except my name is.
My name is,
and that's it.
Slim Shady.
Yeah, that's people get in trouble because they talk too much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, and the police, while they're there to help some people, if they're looking for you to do something like arrest you, they're not your friend.
Not at all.
And so when they ask you your name, you tell them. When they ask you what's going on, just say, can't talk.
Right. Usually I say, like, I don't answer questions.
Yeah. You're supposed to. Well, if you're in the street, you have to at least, they can stop you and say, hey, what's your name? And I would just say, yeah, my name's so-and-so. And if they start asking you questions, you say, listen, am I under arrest or am I being detained or can I go?
Yeah.
And if they have probable cause to think you committed a crime, then they can stop you and maybe pat you down and frisk you. But if they just want to try to bust your balls or something, just listen, I got to go. It's been nice talking to you.
I think there's a stigma behind police officers, right? And it gives people a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Because of all the crooked cops and everything going on, especially with people that look like, brown.
Yep.
Or whatever. So a lot of times they get kind of caught up in how they feel, but they got to understand you have to separate that from, what's really going on, your reality, and just lock in on survival and just moving forward. Because if you can do that and you can hold your bearing and just stay focused on the goal, which is to go home, be able to go to bed in your own bed, then you'll be fine.
Yep.
I just think that sometimes some police officers, they had nothing else that they were good at. And now they get a badge, a hat, and a gun, and they feel like, they get that little ego, and they know they losers. They're losers, and this is all they had to make them feel good. And I think they overdo it. That's what they do because it makes them feel better. Like, and then if someone points it out because they were so picked on when they were growing up, and now they have authority or power to be telling you what to do. That's what happens to them. And I think that's what makes bad police officers.
Yeah, there's some, and usually it's the small minority, the small minority that are the bad ones, but they create problems for all the good ones that are out there trying to do a job.
Because they're not mentally or
it's not an easy job, I'll tell you that much.
For sure.
That's what I think it is. Mentally and emotionally, they either got picked on, and now it's their time to pick on others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lame in high school.
I think there should be like, ask them, like, it's nice that some people there's a lot of people that want to be police officer that doesn't, but I think they should be there should be like I don't even know what I'm trying to come up with the word. They should be checked out.
Yeah, I say an
evaluation by a therapist. That's what I was trying to get out.
Well,
they should be evaluated by a therapist to make sure that they are the right candidate to be a police officer, but not someone that's going to bully the streets.
Yeah, true. Interestingly, there's been some cases up in the Northeast years ago when I was a police officer, where they gave us a psych evaluation. At first, we took tests, and we had to sit down with a psychologist or psychiatrist, I remember, and they asked us a bunch of questions. And so you'd pass because they said you were normal and you could get the job. And then, 6 years later, they were saying, this guy's a nut. He's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And so the guy said, so I want a pension then.
Wow.
Because when I came on here, I was fine. Now I'm crazy. The job made me nuts. I was injured.
Oh.
And he fought the state of New Jersey. I don't know if he ever got his pension or not, but he was claiming that the job made me nuts. I want my worker's comp. And then I want a pension. Yeah.
Smart
can't
man.
be that crazy.
That's a smart man.
Exactly.
Sure.
I just want to live on this. He just wants to just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did going through a divorce impact you emotionally and creativity? What is the word?
Creativity.
Creativity.
It's Lee. Creatively.
Creatively.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say this, right? So I made some of my best music when I was with her, which is saying a lot,
No, usually when you have a good partner, you can be rich. You can be successful.
Absolutely.
It's always if they listen to you.
Absolutely.
If they listen.
I didn't see nothing.
You didn't see a battery?
Didn't see nothing.
Battery of the headphones.
Yeah.
I would say this: the separation made me. It gave me more of a sense of empathy, compassion, and a higher level of understanding of oneself and my self-worth. It made me reevaluate it, and I had to really pour it into my music, which showed a more vulnerable and intimate side of myself and what me and her had and what we went through. And like I told you, the purity of it all, So, I mean, even not to go too crazy, but she's been the inspiration and the muse for a lot of the stuff that I've done just because of what we had. And it's not often that you find that, but people think so because of instant gratification, social media, and peers. But yeah, I would say that's how it influenced me. Influenced me to make a better, deeper, like in terms of depth, like a deeper and more vulnerable song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you write your own music?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every last word.
Wow.
So Tim, how does going through divorce impact your emotional?
My what?
We don't want to go there.
Yeah, let's not go there.
You mentioned you were almost killed. What happened?
Okay, so besides the time I was telling y'all about when I was
And I wish I could break this up. This is too much.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of juicy, tales.
Yeah. So I was on First Street. I was a very large child because I worked out day and night, and genetically we're just naturally muscular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I decided to go crazy in terms of football. You know, I wanted a spot on the team.
Do you have a picture?
I do.
Yes, so we can post it so we can put it into the.
But it's so embarrassing.
But is it muscular? Like
it's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
But
yeah, bring that.
I got into a scrap with a kid on the next street over First Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we were hooping. You know, my friend was out there, and I guess it was his friend or cousin or whatever. So we got into a little altercation, you know what I mean? And he decided, just because you're big doesn't mean I'm scared of you. Whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. I told him, listen, bro, I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to get in. I'm like 14 at the time. I'm like 90 seconds away from crashing out, but I'm trying to diffuse the situation the best I can as a kid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He swings, you know? So when he swung, I swung. And when he swung, again, I swung again, but this time I swung with no regard for human life.
And you connected.
And he decided to hit the ground.
Oh.
So when he hit the ground, he jumped up and ran over to grab his bag. He had a Glock in his bag.
Oh,
He had a Glock 23 in his bag with a little like extended mag on the bottom. But
How
a lot of
old
times
are these kids?
he was probably 15, 16.
With a Glock.
Well, at least he had a good gun.
Yeah,
It's
he
nice
had a
gun.
pretty nice gun.
Yeah,
How
Glocks
expensive is that? Is it?
For him,
$600.
For him, he didn't even buy it.
Oh,
His parents bought it for him
I don't know
because of where we lived.
Oh, so everyone bought their kids.
Yeah, so I decided to throw
Wait,
him.
so how much you think is a gun? A Glock?
A Glock.
I haven't bought. The last one I bought was
$500,
$500,
$1,000?
$600, $700. I didn't even. I have no idea.
For a good Glock, probably around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I proceeded to throw him.
Yeah.
So he ran to grab the bag. I was right behind him, trailing him because I knew what he was going to go get, and I threw him. So when I threw him, you know, he kind of flew a little bit. He hit the concrete. And
I believe I can fly.
And by the time he hit the concrete, I was already down the street. He let out 2 shots, and I just busted left and ran straight into my house. The door was already open because my aunt was walking out.
I
did. Hey,
track vet for life.
Whoop, whoop.
There you go.
Sweet. But yeah, that was the
wow.
That was the time I almost got shot. I had another instance when I was about 19, 20. I was with my younger cousin. We love each other dearly. We grew up like brothers. My mom and his dad are brothers, brother and sister, right? Siblings. We at the house. I was young. You know, I had a gun. It was hanging out my pocket. His friend was staring at my gun. So he's sitting like maybe waist high on a step, on like some steps, right? In an apartment complex. There's steps, concrete steps leading up to upstairs, and then it's just concrete at the bottom. We're all standing out around each other in a circle talking. You know, he looks at my cousin and then looks down at my gun and is like, signals at him like, hey, I'm about to like
steal that.
I'm about to take his gun and like pull it on him. You know? So he goes to reach for my gun, and then my cousin decided to give him Popeyes. You know, so that nobody was in trouble.
Right.
And then we both decided to give him Popeyes, you know? And then after that, everybody went home safe. We ended up making up like probably like a week later.
Is this real Popeyes or this is
Hands?
Oh, Hands. Popeye. Yeah. Okay, I'm like.
But we ended up.
like, we gave him chicken.
You know, 2 pieces of biscuit. You know?
Oh, so that's what you meant earlier. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I missed it.
So we ended up making up. He's a local rapper too.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So we ended up fixing that local.
Gotta watch those guns, man.
Yeah.
I got arrested for when I was a lawyer 15 years ago.
Sheesh.
For bringing, I did. This is before I met Antoinette. I went to Costa Rica
right
for a weekend trip, and I didn't feel like doing something, so I just took my gun out and put it in a bag, in a briefcase. When I came back on Monday, I'd forgotten I put the gun in there. So I packed my stuff. I had a hearing at the courthouse over here. And I walked through the metal detector and I came around and there's 3 sheriff's deputies around my bag, my briefcase. And I said, hey, and they said, hey, is this your bag? And I'm like, yeah. And I was in a suit and tie. So they said, are you an attorney? And I'm like, yeah. And they said, you got a permit to carry a gun? I said, I do have a permit. I said, why? And the guy leans over and goes, you got a gun in your bag. And I was like, and he says, do you know what kind it is? And I said, yeah, it's a 9mm Taurus. And he goes, that's right. Yeah. He goes, we have a no tolerance policy, so we have to arrest you. I'm like, okay. So they took me in the back room and they arrested me and they filled out the booking stuff and gave me a notice to appear and everything. But I said, while they're booking me, I said, can someone run up to the judge's courtroom and just let her know that I'm going to be a little late for the hearing. So they said, sure. So I went up to the hearing afterwards and she was sitting there and I said, good morning, Judge. How are you? And she goes, good morning, Mr. Schulz. How's your morning going? I said, oh, very well. She goes, I'm sure it is. So it was pretty funny. And then the judge that you met, Caroline, she was the one that handled my case afterwards. They gave me probation or something and I had to do community service hours. Smooth. But other than that, that was pretty funny. That's
not funny to me.
Stupid gun incident, but anyway.
That's. Let me zip it.
I had to do community service.
That's what some people say. Stupid gun. Stupid gun incident.
Yeah, I had to do community service, but I bought everyone like donuts and pancakes and stuff in the morning.
You didn't buy them Popeye chicken?
No, but morning breakfast stuff, and they like, how many hours you need today? 10. Okay, bye. See you later. Bye.
Why are you snitching? You always doing too much.
I didn't
it's like the music.
I didn't tell you who did it.
It doesn't matter.
I got to be very authentic with you. If you was brown,
thank you. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't want to say
that you would have been Swiss cheese in that courtroom.
You would have been from underneath you, everything
smoking.
No, I would have been on the ground.
They would have flipped you over on your back, everything.
I think they would have probably tackled me.
Yeah.
When I went near my bed.
Brock Lesnar edge spear on your head.
Is this your bag? Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Hog tie you.
Oh yeah,
that would have been different.
You'd be like this on your back.
Yeah.
Both legs tied up.
Must have been a suit and tie.
It's also great to know the law, though.
Yeah.
So they can't really mangle you how they want because they know you know.
Yeah.
Right. But
that's pretty smooth.
Anyway, so that was.
But there's always the ones that don't know you know.
Yeah,
and they don't care.
Anyway, okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you more questions. I need you to come back on. Your answers are very good. Yeah. I love them.
So let me ask this because we're getting towards the end of our time here. But what do you think of the P. Diddy trial? Are you keeping up on anything or? Have you listened to any of it or what's going on or
do you think it's interesting?
No.
It's not?
I think that is barbershop talk, right?
Yeah.
I think
is it normal stuff?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not even close.
Okay.
He makes R. Kelly look like
an angel?
What's his name? Mr. Rogers.
Oh boy.
He make R. Kelly like Mr. Rogers or a Teletubby or something,
Wow.
He's absolutely guilty. He did everything without a doubt. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's so just outward about everything. He's so open and he can't even contain himself at a lot of times.
Wow.
So there's without a doubt in my mind, he did everything. Yeah, for sure.
Well, a witness this week testified that he dangled her over a 17-story balcony and threatened to kill her.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think I heard about that years ago.
Unless
it wasn't him. Someone else did that?
She said that he said, I'm the devil and I could kill you. Her name was Brianna Bana Bangalan.
I believe it.
A former girlfriend of Cassie Ventura Fine, who, of course,
was
P. Diddy beat up in the hallway at the elevator.
You know what's insane about that clip? That towel didn't move.
Yeah.
That towel held on in most people's marriages. That towel was not going anywhere the whole time.
I did not see the clip.
So if you see the clip, right?
Of which one? P. Diddy beating up Cassie?
Beating up Cassie, right.
Okay.
So he has a towel wrapped around. You know how you wrap your towel when you get out the shower?
Oh, I know how to wrap it. You wrap it this way.
Yeah,
roll it. It stays tight.
That's probably why that towel wasn't going nowhere.
See, I didn't know that until I went to the Turkish baths.
Yeah.
In Istanbul.
Right.
And those guys goes, no. And then you wrapped it. It was super tight and that didn't go anywhere, man. It was pretty.
So I bet he's a good guest for Turkish.
Absolutely. If you look at lyrics, a lot of lyrics between Notorious B.I.G.
and
Puff Daddy, it's been like literally my whole entire lifetime of promotion of homosexual, inappropriate,
Seriously?
and like
Now I have to
super
listen to it
like
again.
overly sexual activity to the point where like you can't hide it. You know what I mean? You got people coming out, Orlando Brown, Justin Bieber, Usher. You got a multitude of people who you know for a fact became a victim. You know what I mean? And if you put them in the right situation at the right time, except for Justin Bieber already told, you know, but like those people are going to end up coming out and saying something in order to not be exposed because he has tape on so many people.
Oh.
You know, but yeah,
does he have tape or does the government now have tape?
They have it now. I think it's just absolutely heinous in a multitude of ways, and I don't think they're going to expose a lot of it because obvious reason. You know, yeah, that guy's gross.
Goodness. Oh, it's sad and scary and like, what the heck? But at the same time, I mean, that man's smart to manipulate those people like that to get all their money. That's how. Think about his life. His life has been getting you to give you money by raping you, treating you, not just women, but men. And I bet the men gave him the most money.
Can I say something real quick? I don't think that it was rape if you voluntarily choose.
But he did drug you. Not you.
He didn't drug you, did he?
I'd be a billionaire right now.
Allegedly.
But if you
were drugged,
if you voluntarily choose to have sexual intercourse with someone for fame, fortune, and to be like huge in terms of like box office, in terms to be booked, like for anything that's monetary compensation, that's more like prostitution,
right?
Than you know, being raped. You know,
you got to be careful these days if you're a celebrity.
But you don't think any of them were like, because at one point I heard that they go in there, they drink something, and eventually they notice that they're a little weak or whatever.
Yeah, no, they was all going for it for sure, without a doubt. That's why Cat Williams said it. He's like, you gotta tell him no. But he knew, they all knew that when he wanted to party, the way he wanted to party.
He didn't want to party. You gotta tell him no.
He's been doing it my whole entire lifetime. I'm born in '98.
Wow.
Did you know about this already?
Yeah.
The history of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
wild.
He's been doing. I mean, not in like I don't know them.
Graphic.
I have to say that before I say this though. So, I had a guy that mentored me. So B. Will the Barber, shout out to B. Will the Barber, was my very first mentor. So I had Jeff Jean as my actual teacher at school. B. Will was like a real saucy, cool, like he remind you of like the cat that played the fiddle, like a almost like a jazzy, cool, smooth, older dude. Not too much older, but like a little older than us. He mentored me first.
Yeah.
Then I got in the blurry face barbershop. The guy that mentored me then was Mark the Barber. Mark the Barber cuts every celebrity. And one of the main celebrities he cut and was on call for when I worked with him was P. Diddy.
Oh.
So the first couple of times he would come back and be normal. And then all I'm saying is there was one time in particular he was on call and he came back and he was acting different.
Wow.
And I'm not gonna say it's good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I love Mark.
Maybe he was in pain.
Mark, I rock with you. I love you, but like,
was he a little oily when he came back?
He's a little more playful than usual.
Wow,
you know?
Interesting.
I felt like he found himself.
Something got found. That for sure.
Oh well. All right.
I'm just busting your chops, Mark. It's all good.
It's all good. Excuse me.
Maybe.
A little congestion here, man.
Maybe.
All right. I think that's pretty good. Really interesting. We'd love to have you back on because you're full of stories.
I have so many more questions.
We have questions, and we'll definitely have you back on real soon. But hopefully you guys keep up with the P. Diddy trial because it seems really like it's getting more interesting as we go.
Well, if Josh is on here, we'll definitely be kept up.
Josh, keep up with the P. Diddy trial for us.
No thanks.
At least keep us. I mean, if you come on, just keep us up and tell us what's going on a little bit.
For sure.
Because I'm trying, but so far I was on YouTube and I thought I was watching a trial, and it wasn't a trial. It was just some random person telling stories.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. I don't know.
There's so many random people are telling stories.
They have a documentary before he's even convicted.
Oh wow.
They had one with R. Kelly after.
Yeah.
They did this before because they already was like, yeah, we knew.
But at the same time, he's the only. I mean, he's the head of it.
Wow.
I'm surprised he's the head.
I'm not. Not at all. Him and Big were probably the head at first, then bro passed, so he just took over.
Wow. Yeah.
I am the captain now. You know,
Biggie.
Truly amazing. All right, man.
I would like to say this before we wrap it up. Again, I'm Josh the Barber.
Yes, please.
AKA Fooly 23. My latest single is out now. It's called For Show. It has no cursing. It's an incredible little bop. You can dance to it, make a TikTok to it. You can show it to your parents.
And where do they get it at?
And you can get it on, and it's out on all platforms. You can find me on Instagram at FOOLYBOY on all platforms. I mean, on whatever you want, TikTok, Instagram, preferably Instagram. So just tap in with me. I'm very personable. I'll be happy to talk to you and share stories, and we could just be cool and lock in.
Excellent.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, Josh.
No. We're not done. Josh is going to give us. Can you please, Josh, give us a little song, something, a little snippet, maybe from your last single.
Sure. Am I able to pull up a beat? Like, can that happen? Like, can we play audio?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I can.
Wait, hold on.
What kind of beat you talking about?
I was just.
What are you talking about?
The beats.
What?
Y'all got beats?
Oh, there we go. We got them.
Oh, what are you doing?
We have those beats.
I meant like an instrumental.
Yes, you have your phone?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Just
Or you
play it
can
on
do it
my
right
phone?
there. You can do it on YouTube too. But I don't think that's on. No,
Is the audio hooked up?
let's just do it on my phone. Let's be careful.
You sure? I mean, I can
Yes.
play it off my phone if you want.
Because I don't know. Yeah. Every time we mess with something over there, something happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Is my phone dead? My phone is dead.
Can you pull something up, Antoinette?
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab another one. I am so hungry. Where are we eating?
She's talking about
I
food
need
already.
I want a rainbow roll. Ooh, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
It's not 10 o'clock.
it's too late to eat.
Okay. I don't understand why he's thinking about himself. I said, I want. Here you go. You got it?
Yeah. I wasn't going to pull it up right here. I was just going to.
Is it working?
I mean, I can't. Yeah, I just heard it play.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. What are we thinking?
And the earphones are out.
Let's see what I got for y'all.
We're just looking for a little music.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a little ditty.
A little ditty. We
A little
want
ditty, no pun intended.
You get it? See what I did there?
A little ditty. Yeah, I like this side better. I've always wanted this side. I'm like, I keep looking at how my hair. Or
In the
something.
meantime, if you're walking around downtown West Palm Beach, you'll see
Yes.
Antoinette running around with
The legal shit sign.
the legal shit sign.
So please subscribe at the same time. Eventually, we're going to start doing raffles. So if you see me walking down the street, I may have a gift card in my pocket for you.
Mm.
So make sure you sign up, follow, subscribe, and jump on the show. Come talk your shit. I'm ready for it.
Legal shit.
Or illegal shit.
Trying to find like it was. What y'all want? Like rap, R&B? What y'all think?
Turn that down. Something's up.
What?
Something went up.
No, it's the computer. I can hear that. That's good.
Better.
Sounds smooth.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear it in the headphones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube. Wait, is that someone else's song or is that yours?
So a lot of these instrumentals are songs that I've like made stuff to.
And YouTube is allowed with it. Because we don't get blocked.
Block for what?
No, what happened is they'll cut that section of the podcast if it's
Copyright.
copyrighted song.
Let me get the one that I bought. Man.
Yeah, it has to be one.
Let's see. Let me see. Oh, there. I just got mine. It's called Your, y'all. I'm just looking for it. I'm so sorry if I'm taking forever.
No, you're fine.
No.
Patience is.
I have a question for y'all. If your client says too much, right? Like if he start like running his mouth like crazy, is he just screwed? Or do you think that there is like a way that you can probably, if he doesn't go too crazy, that you can kind of get him a lesser outcome? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't do criminal defense anymore. I do all business litigation, but some of my clients talk too much anyway in the business world and they get themselves in trouble. They say just too much.
Yeah.
I said, they want to take their deposition, and the instructions to the client is, if they ask a question that requires a yes or no answer yes or no. But nope, they ask a yes or no question, and then they go on a 5-minute explanation about everything, and that leads to another hour of questioning. And I'm like, oh,
sheesh. Do people get in trouble for lying at all?
Yeah.
Like if you accuse somebody, right, and they lie on you, right, and they find out that you lied on that person, is that a crime?
No, it's some people can sue for defamation. The problem with cases like for defamation is that you have to prove damages. I mean, you can call someone a lot of stuff and it's great, and it's not, I mean, it's not great. It's harmful and it's not good. But if you didn't suffer any damages, what do you're not really entitled to any money. So that's always one of the problems with that kind of stuff.
So is that more like civil?
Yeah, that's all civil stuff.
Sheesh. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find something good, y'all. I'm almost there. I'm sure I'm getting close to what I'm looking for. All right, we can do this. Hey, yeah, hey, listen to what they telling me. They said it all from jealousy. I know you think you're playing me, so why you keep on playing with me? It's plain to see that my name is yours. Your love is fantasy. Yeah, you keep playing me. Yeah, they don't wanna be us, 'cause they don't wanna see us outside. I say, 'cause we why? Listen to what they telling me. Please stop lying and texting. I know you think you're playing me. Yeah, All envious out now everywhere. Thank y'all.
All right.
That was good.
Oh, there we go.
That was really good.
A little applause. That was excellent.
Thank you guys.
You have a great voice.
You.
Wow.
I try.
Excellent. Well,
You
there's
didn't have to try right there.
yeah, man, that was great.
Yeah.
That's
Did
our
you
first musical edition of Legal Shit.
Did you have vocal training or anything like that?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
plan
Wow,
on
that's
it, though.
raw.
Well,
Yeah, I plan on
That's
it.
nice.
you
I
heard
grew
it here
up-
first.
yeah.
Josh singing on Legal
The
Shit.
legal shit. Josh is our first
Musical guest.
Yes. And we can't wait to have him back and have more. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That was really
Absolutely.
good.
Thank
was
you.
excellent.
Yeah.
Very honored. I appreciate it.
No, I'm
It means
glad.
a lot.
I
Yeah.
saw Josh. I think you walked by one day and you stopped in or something and said, "Hey, I'd like to be in your podcast." And I was like, "Yeah," but we were getting ready to travel a lot, so there was a kind of a little delay. But I'm glad we had you on, and look forward to having you back.
And I'm
Long time
very
coming.
impressed.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
y'all.
great.
Thank
Great.
y'all so much. I have a
Yeah.
lot of admiration for both of y'all. I don't know if y'all noticed. I have a lot of respect for both of y'all.
My goofy self.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Like, like you could be down to earth. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you kind of have an aura, like as the kids say, aura. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like you just command. You command respect. You command adulation. You command people to not only respect you but look up to you and understand that you did something that we're trying to get to. You know what I mean?
All right, great. Well,
So,
thank you.
Happy to see y'all.
Yes,
Thanks
All
again.
right, great. Well, thank you all for joining another episode, a musical edition and a nighttime edition of Legal Shit. And remember, it's not just talk; it's
legal shit. See you
Thanks,
guys
y'all.
soon.
Bye.
Someone
Legal
has to
shit,
press
legal
the end button.
Thank you again, man.